Well, here we go again. Just another which way to block a woman's access to a legal abortion. I said this yesterday. The Republicans have been very persistent. They can't get in the front door. They tried the back door. They can't get in the back door. They try to get into the window. They can't get into the window. They try to go down the chimney. This is just another which way to try to prevent women to be in charge of their own reproductive destiny. Madam Chair, when I was 15 years old, I found a friend lying in a pool of blood. This was the days before Roe v. Wade that gave women the right to access safe legal abortions. My friend had what we in those days called a back alley abortion. We saved her life, but what happened to her is just one example of the morbidity and in many cases the death of so many women who were not able to get proper care. Humiliation, criminal action, agony, risk of sterility, or death did not deter American women from ending their pregnancies. And I think it's also interesting to note, and I'd like to really reflect the words of Ricky Solinger, who's a historian and the author of many books about reproductive politics, which I really think explains well why so many of us are so adamant that having access to full reproductive care is so important to women. It's not that we like abortion. No, it's something that any person would take very, very seriously. But the first thing to know about life when abortion was still a criminal act is that massive number of women resisted the law. In the 1950s and 60s, a medical and law enforcement expert estimated that 1 to 2 million girls and women every year had secret abortions. They resisted because they were either too poor, too young, too alone, too vulnerable, too sick, for many different reasons. And the social and economic impacts of making abortion illegal cannot be overstated. Because think about what life was like for women in terms of getting jobs. Many times, employers drew on vulnerabilities to treat females as unreliable employees who deserve lower pay because who knows, women could have children and drop out of the workplace. And so to me, what is so confusing about this and similar amendments is that at the same time, Republicans try to keep women from accessing legal abortion, they also are trying to limit access to contraception. I guess, what does that mean? Sending women back, what's the old saying, barefoot and pregnant? Is that where they really want to take us? And let me just add one more thing. We've talked a lot over the months about racial injustice. And systematic racial injustice comes in many forms, and there is probably not another really good example as what this amendment does, especially to the women in Washington, D.C. With that, I urge everyone to defeat this amendment, and I yield back.